Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 195. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Queenz Carnival Stop. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Monique Clark. Monique, how's it going?
Hey, how are you, Doug?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
Glad to hear that. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, we're to talk about all the great things you got going on over at Queen's Carnival Stop. But before we talk business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. Born and raised in Montgomery, what was your upbringing like in the Gump?
Well, like us all, I wouldn't say I had the worst upbringing, but it was tough. We all faced our adversities, and it's just like what I'm doing now. It's a childhood dream that I always had. It was just one of those things where I had to grow some more and I had to learn some more. And I just thank God for the opportunity to just branch out. I thank Him for giving me the opportunity to see my dream flourish, to unfold in front of my eyes.
That's amazing. I appreciate you for sharing that. And you're right, we all have our own adversities and challenges that we face. And, it's all about being able to overcome and with God's grace and mercy and guidance, anything's possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. So growing up in Montgomery and surviving those adversities and all that good stuff. So once you finished up high school, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
I actually went right to work. I went right to work. I actually did not finish high school. I didn't get my high school diploma. I did go to Trenton State. I got my GED, and I've always been in food service. I've worked at Baptist South in their dietary area for several years. I worked at Winn-Dixie for several years. It's just always been food service. My last job before I actually started my own business was Huntington College, and I was out there a total of maybe 4 years. And I just always loved the food service business. I've just always stuck to that kind of aura. So yeah. And that's what I stand for, mostly for is letting other young girls and guys know that for that matter that sometimes things don't pan out as you would think that they would or how you want them to, but you can't give up. You cannot give up. You'll have people telling you, oh, this is not as that, or you're not as qualified as this person or that person, but you have to bet on yourself every single time.
Yes, ma'am. That's powerful stuff. That's a word right there. Just betting on yourself and yeah, like you said, not letting naysayers tell you you're not qualified. And I mean, I appreciate you for sharing your journey, going to get your GED. Ain't no shame in that. Everybody's journey is different. You did what you had to do, and that's the most important part.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So you said this is a childhood dream. So really just take us through that. So when did you discover when in your childhood did you discover well, what was it that led you to discovering this was what you wanted to do?
Well, actually, I was one of those kids that loved to watch cooking shows other than cartoons. Don't get me wrong, I had my favorite cartoons and such, but I've just always been so interested in the craft. Like I have always been intrigued in the craft. And I think I kind of really made my mind up at the age of 12. At the age of 12, I remember telling my dad that I wanted my own restaurant. I told him I was going to have my own restaurant. And he told me I could do anything that I wanted. He was actually the one that named me Queen. That's my nickname from my father. I lost him maybe 3 years ago. Yes, been 3.5 years ago now. He was my muse. And he always told me I could do anything I put my mind to. Yeah, that was the first time I really said it out loud. And that's when I decided that that's what I really, really want to do with myself, with my life.
Wow. Wow. That's an amazing story, powerful. I definitely send my condolences to the loss of your father.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And Pops instilled that confidence in you, told you you can be whatever you want to be. That's all right, man. Pops just planting those seeds in you at an early age and not shooting down your dreams. And look at you now, living out your dreams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's so amazing. And I just know that he is so.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's awesome stuff. So just hearing you talk about all the different stops you had in your career, working in the food service business, Baptist South, Winn-Dixie, Huntington. So in all of those places that you had a chance to work in the food service business, so what what are some of those lessons you learned working in a 9 to 5 realm that you carry over into your business that you apply now?
The discipline, the structure, the if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I'm big. See, I learned a lot of the things like for us the health code on how to run my business on that aspect. And I'm a mom. Even before I was a mom, I had a mom that was strict on cleanliness. So I've always been a cleanly person. So that's why I always thrived in all of my workplaces. And I always been a quick learner. So most of the things that I would say that I took from each one of those jobs is just knowing my temperatures, knowing having the experience of being in customer service, dealing with the people, different ethnicities of people, and just learning different flavors, just learning what the people like.
Hmm. That's what I'm talking about. So it sounds like in all those stops you made, you were just taking notes to apply to your own business because you knew all along you wanted to start your own business. That's really dope, Monique, because you really made the most of all of those stops you made and all of that game that you soaked up. You now applying it to your business. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. That's amazing. So, whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. You pretty much already covered your aha moment in terms when you first realized you wanted to start this business. So, from the time you had your this aha moment, well, let me ask you this. So, once you got ready to actually start the business, I know you had the dream since 12. How long did it take you to come up with a name, get the LLC, and get all the business stuff situated once you decided to go for it?
I that's going back to what I was telling you earlier. I'm more so like that's where the adulthood hit. That's where the adversity started. And it was like that's was the term and point of life where between my teenage years and early adulthood, the adversities of just learning and growing and getting my mindset and getting spiritually strong to know that I can go to my God and he can equip me to do anything. And that first and foremost, I think that was the first step that I had to take to gain the courage to just say, hey, you know what? I gotta start something. Because I think among a lot of people in life, we set ourselves back with our dreams so long, thinking that you have to have so much money. It just, it seems so impossible at first. It just seems like you have to do so much. And I prayed to get over that, like to show me and discipline me to whatever I have to do to make this happen now. And I quit my job. I put in my 2 weeks. I prayed about it, and I jumped out there on a. Like I tell anyone, I jumped out there with a box of chicken and a gallon of funnel cake mix, and I just was like, I'm gonna do it. And I started ordering my equipment. I started getting my license. I reached out to the lady about the building. Great people, great people. Like they were a blessing to themselves. They prayed over the building with me. It just seemed like it was so aligned. Everything really happened so fast. Once I made that step to do it, it was like my mind was blown. Like everything just fell into place so fast. And it was time. I remember the day I was getting ready to do my grand opening, and it was like, this is really happening. Like all the equipment is here. I've paid for the building. I've did all the remodeling. I've ordered inventory. Like I really have people outside. So yeah. And even to this day, like it's been 4 years, the growth of it. Because I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know how it was going to go. And it was never about the money. It was about the passion and the dream. And I jumped out on faith.
That's a powerful story, and that's truly faith. Like to really step out there and quit your job and step out there, like you said, with a box of chicken, a box of funnel cake mix, and just really trusting God to guide your footsteps. Because Monique, it's so interesting because I'm guilty of it as well, and a lot of times it's easy for people to say I have faith, but to really step out there and not know what's gonna happen when you step out there, that's true faith. Like really not knowing, like going out there in the unknown, quitting your job, not waiting until the business replace your job. You really stepped out there on faith, and just always remember that. Like if you ever not to say you ever get discouraged, but if you ever just feeling down on
Oh,
yourself,
we
all
all do. We
yeah,
all do.
but
I
yeah,
didn't mean to cut you off.
oh
I was just
no,
saying we all do. I've had those moments
yes,
in
ma'am.
this journey.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's true. I stand corrected. We all do get discouraged. And I just want to remind you, like in those moments when you get discouraged, always remember you've already proven that you have unshakable faith. You've already stepped out there and quitting your job and not waiting until your job, well, not waiting until your business replace your job. Like that's the true definition of faith, and that's commendable.
Thank you
Yeah.
so.
Yes, ma'am. The last portion, audacity, it's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to put action behind it, but to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized. And based on what you just told me about walking away from your job and getting started, you gave yourself the audacity to step out there and put this business out to the world.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's amazing stuff. So being in the food service business and like I was telling you offline, I got a chance to check out some of your portfolio and that got that fat food looking good, and pictures looking good. So Monique, what are your best sellers?
Absolutely everything. And I know that might sound crazy, but and that's the blessing in it. Like they go crazy over the funnel cakes, the polar sausage, the chicken, the pork chop. I'm just so grateful that they take to any and everything that I put on it.
Hey, I'm with it. Everything the best seller. The whole menu jumping. That what Monique just told me.
Yes, sir. I can't wait for you to try it.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely gonna pull up on you. Definitely gonna pull up and see what you got going on. Like I said, I'm looking at those pictures, and that's great that you're getting a chance to do what you love and do it for a living, and that's amazing. So you being a full-time business owner, mom, all the things that's on your plate. What do you do to decompress? Like, what do you do to get away from the hustle and bustle, the grind?
These babies. I love children. Like when I'm not actually selling food and doing my catering business, I'm doing functions with those babies or I'm asleep. It's like I love to like I'm big on the stop the violence functions. I do a trunk or treat every year, back to school functions. I just love doing interacting with. I'm a single mother myself, and just like I said, my upbringing, like I strive to be who I feel like I needed coming up.
Wow, that's powerful. I wasn't expecting that. Wow, that really caught me off guard in a great way. That's wow. That's amazing that even in your free time you're still serving. You're still pouring into the kids. That I think that's great. And you said something so key at the very end, just being that person you needed growing up. And I really I really think that I really think that's one thing. That's what life is all about, Monique. Just leaving the world better than you found it. And it sounds like that's what you're doing for those kids.
Yes, yes. And I'm a strong believer in that leaving this world better than we found it. And then people just don't know. And it doesn't matter. It's not like they don't have parents. Because I had parents. It's not like their parents are not interacting with them and they don't take the time with them. But it's always powerful and impactful when someone outside of home tells you that you're great and you can do anything that you put your mind to, and they take that time with you and show you, because actions always speak louder than words. And these babies know they can call me anytime, whether it is just they need a motivational moment, a hug, or they need me to show up to a function, or they just want to go out and have a girls or a guys day. However, whatever, they know I got their back.
That's great. And even just with you just giving them a word of inspiration, it just sounds like a full circle moment. It just goes back to when your dad told you when you were 12 years old, you could be whatever you wanted to be. And now you're giving that to those kids. And that's what it's all about.
Yes, he was my best friend. He was my best friend. I feel like he was the only one in this world that understood me.
Mm.
So
Yes, ma'am.
proud.
I definitely understand that. I can definitely can relate to that. And that's just amazing what you're getting a chance to do for a living that you love. And that's great. And you've done great things with the business. I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short term and long term goals you feel comfortable sharing?
Well, my short term goals is just to keep striving and allow Queens to just expand for its clientele. And, because everyone doesn't know already. It's so many people that do, and that my supporters, like, I cannot go without just speaking on my supporters. Like they make Queens what it is because they have supported me since day one, and it's just growing and growing. And for us, the long term, I strive. I want Queens to franchise. I want Queens to be just as big as any other franchise, any McDonald's or any other franchise. And I don't see any other franchise as a competitor because I feel like I'm unique within my own sense. And I just feel like it can do it. I see Queens in New Orleans. I see Queens in California. I see Queens in Ohio, Atlanta. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Those are great goals, both short term and long term. And I have no doubt you'll put in the work and make them all come to fruition. Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for your support.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So as we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask the $1 million question. So I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero, Monique, I got to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
I love the unity. And I know on the outside looking in with all the violence and things of that nature, I feel as though in my city, in the state of Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, in the city of Montgomery, Alabama, I feel like in my city, when you're yourself, people gravitate to your aura and your energy of you being yourself. You're not going to always be everyone's cup of tea. I'm not the type of person that expects everyone to, no one should be the type of person that can expect everyone to like them or this or that. But all in all, I love the because just be yourself. And I feel like when you're yourself, like you get genuine reciprocation back. So I just love the unity.
Yes, ma'am. Spot on. That's powerful stuff. So Monique, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
Well, I'm a very simple girl. I've been notified now that I need to get an Instagram and all of that. But I'm just on Facebook. I do have a TikTok. All anyone, if they're looking for the restaurant or looking to contact me personally, they can Google me. Just put in Queenz Carnival stop. That's my direct number, all my hours of operation, a couple pictures of what I serve. And I just want everyone to just come see me.
Yes, ma'am. Too easy. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Monique, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. You have a wonderful evening.
Yes, ma'am. You too. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go.